Next on the Moments of Grace podcast, Dr. Butler will speak with Will Owens of the Mind Creates LLC. They will discuss his life and how he has helped over 2,000 people change direction in their lives.
This is your host, Dr. Ray Jerome Butler, and welcome to A Moment of Grace. My dear hearts, I'm so happy that you are here with us on Moments of Grace. We all have a spirit to want to go to the next level. In fact, the Bible tells us that we go from grace to grace and level to level, and I truly, truly believe that. And the only way you can go to the next level is to change your mindset. It was something reverberating within a lot of believers and people that were in the corporate world. They say if you want something different, you have to do something different. So that tells us right there that we have to change our mindset. My guest today can attest to that. You can see his head shaking. He can attest to what I'm saying. His name is Will Owens, and he is the CEO of the Mind Creates LLC. And so welcome, Will, to Moments of Grace.
Thank you so much, Dr. Butler, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. You got nothing but quality content on Moments of Grace podcast, and I'm just proud of the work that you're doing, and I'm honored to be a guest.
Well, brother, I tell you, it is such a pleasure to have you. We're happy that you are going to be a contributor and that you're going to share with us some of your life story and some of what you're doing with the Moments of Grace audience. And with that said, would you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for, taking the time to listen. So I am Will Owens, the CEO of The Mind Creates. And, my heart really goes out to people. This company and even in myself, it was established by God to, come up with solutions for people that were desiring to have a understanding of how to maneuver through life, take on adversities, but then conquer them, with the right guidance. And, I've been through adversities myself. And even in, many different articles in my book or whatever it may be, I share and shed light on those things. But then I tell people, it's not about, you going through something. It's about you utilizing that story to impact not only yourself, but other people as well, because a lot of people are suffering. But it's only through us working together and sharing our story that, we find comfort and actually strength in one another. So, you're all about collaboration, Dr. Butler, and I love it. And that's why I'm glad to be here.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, Will. As you were talking and just looking a little bit in your bio, you deal with a lot of spiritual education. And, one thing that I've found, I'm an author myself. We've, of course, do the podcast content, retired pastor and all that other stuff. One thing I see people struggling with, especially these days, is with education. Yes. So what are you doing to motivate, when people come to you, a client comes to you, or someone comes to you and they're like, well, Will, I really want to go into another level. How do you motivate them with the education piece to understand that they need that? Nothing's going to, we can't open up our brains. It's kind of like, the children of Israel in when they were in the wilderness, manna is not falling from on high. It's in us. So how do you manifest the manna of education, spiritual education with your clients?
Yeah, that's such a powerful question. And thank you so much for asking that. When it comes down to it, you're right. Education is key. And God said, even in Proverbs, right? My people perish due to a lack of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And so what I learned is that people cannot understand what they have not been taught. And I did a live on Facebook about that. You cannot understand what you have not been taught. So
Wow.
my thing is, I allow people to come in as they are, be as open and engaging and just vulnerable, right?
Mm.
Have that real relationship and let it all out. And I'm like, where would you like to be helped? And I've noticed like most people's problems, they're all the same, like
Right.
financially,
Okay.
relationship, like, dealing with work, guidance, they're just lost. And I'm saying, are you open to getting all the solutions? And if they're open to getting all the solutions, and I have a whole entire system
Okay.
plus resources
Okay.
plus network that will help that person get to the life that they desire. I live the life that I desire because of I saw there was a need there for a system for people to follow. And it's God's word. But some people don't know how to read God's word to take it for what the understanding is. And I translate for them. God gave
Got
me
you.
an ability to translate and to put a system in place and manage that system so that people can get what they desire. And it's just been phenomenal how many people I've impacted over the years, like hundreds of thousands of people. Like, and with things like COVID and pandemic happening and people losing jobs, people losing family members, people
Right.
losing their lives themselves, like,
Yeah.
assets such as real estate, whatever it may be, you do investing, how do you manage all of that?
Right.
And where do you turn to when it all falls down? I realized that that was an issue, and I was like, I got to do something about it. God gave me abilities, I'm going to use them. And education is my thing. I translate information into making it relatable
Right.
to a person in their specific circumstance. And if it hits them, you said motivation, right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't deal in motivation. I deal
Okay.
in inspiration,
Okay. Good.
because
Good.
that inspiration will happen within you, and then you'll be like,
Got
it's
you.
got to really transform my way of thinking.
Right. Right. So now, how do you, because I feel you're a spiritual person,
Hmm.
just by the context of your bio, some of your videos and everything else. So for someone that is not a person of faith, a person that doesn't, I'm not going to say Christian now.
Oh yeah,
Don't
yeah, yeah.
misunderstand what I'm saying.
I feel
Someone
you.
that's not a person of faith, how do you help that person towards that next level? Because there's certain things that are tailored to certain people, and I don't think your program is tailored to that. I think it's probably unilateral. People, anybody can plug into it if they just think.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you got
so
it, brother.
how do you help that person that may not be spiritual? How do you get them past saying, well, is this just for a certain group? How would I fit in? So how would you explain that to that person?
Honestly, I was that person that did not have faith and
Got you.
reached success.
Okay.
So I know how to speak to that person, because success is cool, but fulfillment is better.
Mm.
Success is cool, but fulfillment is better. And so, like, for me, when I reached success, I realized I was not happy.
Right.
And I
Right.
know how to talk to that person that's not happy in life, that's not feeling love, that's not feeling joy, that's not feeling peace, that's not feeling gentle and kind,
Mm.
right?
Got you. Got you.
And it can lack self control. Like, I can speak directly to that person because I know what that feels like.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, I don't look at the Bible, as a book of religion.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it as it's a book about politics. It's a book about a kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's something we're all foreign to, because, especially in the United States, we grow up in a democracy
Yeah.
where
In
you
the
do get
Republic.
to vote. Yeah,
Right.
right,
Right.
right,
Right.
right. In a republic. So
Mm-hmm.
it's something that's foreign to most of us, but I teach people how to be kings and queens and
Mm-hmm.
live in the fruits of the spirit. And they're like, man, you talked about God, but you didn't talk about God. You
Right.
talked about the
Right.
Bible, but you didn't talk about the Bible. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, I'm putting the Bible into life application, is what we should all do. There's principles in there, and those principles relate to our life. Like, the principle that I've been implementing is God will provide.
Right. Right.
God's provision, right? We can say that, but do we really believe it?
Got you.
Our beliefs dictate our
Everything.
entire
Yeah, a
life.
being, a very, very being, brother. It definitely
Man,
does. Definitely
you
does.
get it. You
Yeah,
get it.
yeah. Well, I'd like to take a small break, and when we come back, we want to talk about, as you have a book out as well, correct?
Yes, the book is called
Yeah.
It Could Happen to You: Life Lessons That Direct Your Future. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Well, we want to come back and we want to talk about that book, a little bit more about your system, your program, and just kind of where people can get in contact with you. So if you can keep that in the back of your mind, we'll continue our conversation, my friend. Okay.
Sounds great.
Wonderful. This is Dr. Adrian Butler. We're going to take a small break, and when we come back, we're going to continue to talk with Will Owens, who is the CEO of The Mind Creates LLC, and we'll be right back after these messages.
The Grace Project's mission to build or refurbish homes for unhoused families and veterans had become an affiliate of Green Energy Solutions. When we provide solar panels or electrical vehicle charging stations, you or your organization will assist in helping to fund a project to place a veteran or a homeless family in a home of their own. For more information, you can contact the Grace Project at www.graceproject.info, or you can call 803-930-0366 for more information. The Grace Project is a tax-deductible organization, so anything you give is tax-exempt. Help fight homelessness when you go green. Thank you in advance from the Grace Project.
The latest book by Dr. A. Jerome Butler is here. Queen or Concubine: Being Worthy of Your Crown is one of the best books written by this prolific author and teacher. Dr. Tabitha Russell, CEO and founder of Inside Inspired Women Global, home of the Breakthrough Millionaires Academy, said, Dr. Butler's unique perspective on this issue is both enlightening and thought-provoking. He empowers women to strive for their purpose, to be queens rather than concubines. And Dr. Janet Bishop Nesbitt, certified life, wellness, grief coach, educator, speaker, and veteran, said about this book, God engineered you to be a masterpiece, to be phenomenal, and to be a queen. This book reveals biblically sound principles and other references that will unleash the greatness God has planted inside of you, equipping you with God's word to encourage and strengthen you along the way, to be worthy of your crown. You can get your copy at www.drajrbutler.com and use promo code Bishop Smith. Again, you can get this life-changing book at www.drajrbutler.com and use promo code Bishop Smith. And remember, you are worthy of your crown.
Wall Street has made investing look complex. There is an academy that strives to simplify what seems complicated. TradeAcademyPro.com can assist you in learning the fundamentals of investing. For more information, go to TradeAcademyPro.com, where beginners become winners.
So we're back. We're back. If it doesn't matter where you come from, like I always say, it doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you finish. I'm reminded of a young man who was in his 70s. He was retired, retirement age, had several businesses over the course of his life. He didn't reach to become a millionaire until he was past retirement age. A little chicken company you might remember, known as Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yes, sir.
There was another gentleman, his name was Johnson, who received a C. He was had been in Vietnam and all of this, and he had received a C on a business idea that he had. And his professor in working on his master's gave him a C. Several years later, that same business was implemented that he got a C for, and we know it now as UPS. And so my brothers and sisters, and believe it or not, he went back and they changed it to an A. So it depends on your mindset. And at the same time, when you know in your heart of hearts where you're being led for success, no one can stop you. I live from a moniker, in our teaching, I live from a moniker of Ecclesiastes 11:7, where Solomon tells us that you should have 7 forms of investment and an eighth just in case. So we teach that and we live that. But sometimes it's so difficult for people to understand the precepts and principles and power that the word has. And so I know that you're word driven, also spiritually driven.
Yes,
so share with us about this book that you've written, my friend.
Man, so it could happen to you, life lessons that direct your future. Like, it really is, it could happen to you, but not could, will,
Okay.
has. So God told me to actually speak to all the experiences that I've been through, not all of them, but just some hard-hitting ones, aka the loss of a mother
Okay.
while she was still young, right? Out of nowhere. The
Right.
loss of a job at the exact same time, and the loss of my home
Okay.
at the exact same time. He's like,
So you
Will,
got these
you
cascading things just happen to you, just back to back. Life altering. We're not
speak
talking
about
about
Book of Job
taking
moments, brother.
taking a breath, but just boulder after boulder after boulder hitting you. The loss of your mother, your home, your job, your livelihood, and so how in the world did you recover from that?
God, he said, Will, I'm not doing it to you, I'm doing it for you. What I am taking you through is a testimony that you need to share with the world.
Okay.
And when you get broken down, you can let everybody know who built you back up and how you were built up. Now, I tell you, this came after I've had success. This
Okay.
came after my success. And
Okay.
so, with that being said, to build up to success the worldly way, and then to be stripped of everything and then rebuilt to fulfillment and success the godly way, man, I had to learn about budgeting. I had to learn about investing. I had to learn about not depending.
Stop talking about all that, because people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear about budgeting
Right. You
but those
100%
are things that lead you to success, right, Will?
Yes, sir.
But go ahead, my brother, because
Man.
people don't want to hear that, because I was just sharing with a couple last night. I had a counseling session with a marriage couple, and one of the things I shared with them is that the exact same tools it takes to destroy a house are the exact same tools it takes to build it. You got a hammer. You can just swing a hammer, with the force of it, and it will tear everything down. Doesn't take any thought. But to take that same hammer and take the plans that has add nails to it and wood, it ends up building a home rather than tearing it down. So my friend, as you're sharing these things about budgets and all, how are people receiving these things that you have in your book about budgeting and the success of those things?
And the crazy thing is, when I was running my financial practice, people weren't even open to Zoom. This was before Zoom was like a major thing.
Right.
But then when the pandemic hit, and everybody had to shift, and they realized they could no longer just depend on their job. Right. They could no longer just depend on the government. They realized we got to find out who God is and what skills and abilities he's placed within us. Man, I can tell you, now more people are open into budgeting, investing, business building. And like every client that I've had has thrived during the pandemic.
Right.
They thrived. They didn't just survive, but they thrived. They knew how to network, how to plant seeds and invest and grow relationships. And investing is not just in the money sense. It is in relationships. It is in education. It is in understanding. It is in experiences, right? It's in all of those things and how they all come together to tell a wonderful story of a person that lived and existed in this world.
That's right.
I give people the power to, right? Life lessons that direct your future. Right, one moment at a time. We are preparing who we desire to be in the future, but it starts right now. Every single step that we make right now impacts us for the future. We don't even have to look toward the future. Just keep being successful in every single moment that passes by, and you will automatically be a success that's fulfilled in the future if you know where you're heading.
Got you. Now, Will, as people are listening to us, what are 3 keys? Give me 3 keys that somebody can walk away and say, I may need to get back with that guy because I want to explore those 3 keys. I need to get, you're going to give me 1, 2, and 3, but they need to get A, B, C up under those keys. So what do you consider 3 keys to success?
3 keys to success. 1, be open-minded.
Truly
Be open-minded to receiving the right information from somebody who you desire to, want to be like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hear who they are. Then my second thing is implement the information, take action. Like you said, there was a student that, actually paid you to learn from you about investing, and then they didn't show up to class.
Right.
And then you said, hey, because I'm a man of integrity, I'm going to give you your money back.
Exactly.
And they're like, now I'm going to show up to class. Implement the information. And then the last thing, be willing to share the transformation that you go through.
Right.
Because you'll realize when you share that information with other people, you'll realize you're not alone.
That's right.
All right. Other people will start being drawn into you, start attracting opportunities, whatever it may be. And then other people will say to you, I needed to hear that. Thank you so much for saying that. And that's how we change the world, through that education and those experiences and us spreading love to one another. So, be open-minded, implement, and then share. Those are my 3 keys. And
Great
of course,
point.
you want to get in contact with me.
Great point, Will. All 3 great points. In your book, we're coming to the close of our interview, but in your book, give me, as someone reads your book, it's a little, I would imagine it's life lessons, also some wisdom, some spirituality, some motivation, inspiration, and dedication, all of those Asians. But when someone sits your book down, they read that last page of your book, what do you want them to walk away with?
Honestly, the transformation of being a better person overall.
Gotcha.
Like how you interact with your in a relationship with your children, with your community, with the people you work with on a daily basis. If you have a business, how you work in your business, you just think differently.
Right.
Like you're a person that the world says this is a person that's benefiting society. That's the type of change that you will go through after you read the book. And I'm gonna tell you, it's if you listen to it on the audio, it's only maybe 50 minutes long. And if you read it as a book, it's actually only 40 pages. Gotcha. It's so simple to read, but so impactful. And everybody who's read it, I haven't met a person that hasn't benefited from it.
And it sounds like it's like dynamite. You don't need a rocket for it to blow up, right?
Yep. You got it, brother.
It's just it can be as small as possible. Just a drop of nitroglycerin will take out a home. So that's all you need. And I attest to what Christ said when he was in the boat. When Peter got out the boat, he said, "Oh, ye of little faith." Some people take it as, well, Peter had no faith at all. No, just think about it. Just with a little faith, he walked on water. Just with a little faith, he walked on water. That's right, brother. That can move mountains. So it can be very small, but it can also be impactful. And with that said, Will, how do they get your book and how do they get in contact with you? If anyone wants to reach out to you or they want to get your book and get some of this engulf some of this wisdom, how do they do that?
Right. So the ways to get in contact with me is you can go to themindcreates.com and just register. Right. I will definitely reach out to you. But also you can find me on Instagram. It's Will_Owens, or Facebook, Will Owens. Simple.
Okay.
Right. And I really want people to have the impact to change. I will even give you my personal number. That is 978-269-4876. Again, 978-269-4876. I really want to, change the world to be what I want it to be because I'm a father, right? And with that being said, I want to leave a lasting legacy.
There we go.
That impacts. Jesus left a legacy for us, and he left the model to follow. So why would I not implement what he's shown me? Why would I not give other people opportunities to, have the best life ever while they're here? Heaven is supposed to be experienced on earth. We're not supposed to wait until we get to heaven to experience heaven. No, it's supposed to be experienced here on earth.
That's
so,
right.
I'm super thankful to you, man. Like, just for the opportunity just to be here. This is so powerful. Thank you so much for taking the time out to allow me to do this.
Oh, no problem, Will. You had a lot to share, and I see a lot in you. And so I didn't know you were a father, so it's good to know that you are a father. Because father, what, 3?
3, 2 girls, 1 boy.
Oh wow. Well, I hate to tell your son, he's already outnumbered. You're outnumbered. He's outnumbered. I got 2 women in the house with me. I'm outnumbered. They outnumber us. In love, they outnumber us. So, and it's a great thing. So, but when you're a dad, you don't want to see the world change for yourself, but you want to see it change for others. Right. And I truly believe the prophets of old, when they prophesied, it wasn't for them. Right. Prophecy is really not for the prophet. It's for the people in the future and for those that he's prophesying to. And I think we miss that so many times when we talk about prophets. And so being a father and have written this book and having the Mindset Creates LLC and all that you're doing with your business, even though, you're reaping some of the benefits, like you said, this is creating a legacy for the future, and that includes your children, my children. If we can do that, then we really and truly can change the world. With that said, Will, tell us one more time how we can get in contact with you, and then we're going to go, my friend.
Hey, Dr. Butler, thank you so much again. If anybody wants to get in contact with me, you can find me on Facebook, Will Owens. If you want to find me on Instagram, Will_Owens. You can also reach out to me to my personal number, 978-269-4876. Again, 978-269-4876. I'm not even going to direct you to the website because I really want that relationship with you. It starts with you taking action, reaching out, and letting me know how you want your life to change. I'm not going to limit you. God would never limit you. So I won't either. So, I'm not God. I'm just a man of God, right? A vessel, a child of God. And I want to help the world be what God designed it to be.
Wonderful, Will. Wonderful, Will. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Will. And we wish you and pray that the best on you, that God, that Yahshua will just rest on you and your home and your family. And that young man and those 2 little girls will continue to grow and be everything that will manifest in them. But it first starts with the tree. In order for the fruit to be recognized, there must be a tree. And so I know that they're coming from a good tree by the stuff that you've said and the things that you're doing, my brother. So just keep on moving, my brother. All right.
Hey, you doing the same over there too. So it takes people like us to make the change and be the beauty.
That's it, my brother. That's it. Well, we've been talking with Will Owens of the Mind Creates LLC, and as you can hear, he really wants to help you. If I talked with someone a few days ago and they were in crisis. And they were telling me about some psychobabble. I call it psychobabble. When you're in crisis, you need a surgeon. When you go to the emergency room, an aspirin just won't do it. The pain is so bad that you had to go to the emergency room. And there are a lot of people that are out there that are going through spiritual crisis. There are a lot of people that are going through financial crisis, going through crisis in their lives. And I want to encourage you to reach out to Will, because he is the doctor that you should need to help you through that crisis. And even if you're not in crisis, you just need a checkup, a tune-up. You need some more tools. Check out his book. Check out what he's doing, his company, and his ministry, and himself. And with that said, We were so happy to have you here with us. Will, thank you so much for being with us once again. And to all of you, remember to love God, love life. Keep the light on. We'll see you next time on Moments of Grace.